First of all,
Oh,
good
hi.
morning. Welcome to YAP.
Sorry we're late.
We are late. Apologies. But today on the show, we've got Curls.
Hello,
He's
kia
not
ora.
leaving anytime soon, it
Kia
seems.
ora. Well, tomorrow morning, but kia ora.
Yeah. And today we're joined with a new face, one half of the YAP newsletter, Sophie.
Yo, what's good?
All right, so usually, Sophie, how we start, obviously, I don't need to brief you because you watch these every day, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Totally.
So basically, we
It's
start
the
off
first
by-
thing I do.
You start off by introducing yourself a little bit, talk about yourself a little bit, and then if you have any funny, silly stories, anything you want to get off your chest, now's the time to do it. You got 3 minutes, go.
3 minutes?
I mean, it's loose. It's not
Okay. My name is Sophie. My friends call me Smokey.
Mm.
I have no idea what to say about myself. I don't like being perceived. I'm better as a concept.
I'm better in your imagination.
Yeah, for real.
It's weird actually because
honestly.
we've only for so long we only saw you like remote, right?
Yeah.
Because I worked.
See, I'm better just on the screen.
and
I'm
you
not a real
realise-
person.
Wow, crazy.
No, yeah, I write for the newsletter every single day. So
nice.
that's me.
Carlos,
Glad-
do you have anything?
Well, glad to be sharing the sofa with Soph. That's too much of an alliteration there. Yeah, it's nice. I'm looking forward to this chat. To be honest, I think Soph, we're in the same team, but I've been working a bit remote. You work fairly remote, so it's quite rare that we get to do the odd face to face. So yeah, nice
totally.
to see you.
Yeah,
Nice to
you
have you here.
too.
Real pleasure.
Bright and early.
Absolutely. Oh gosh, wasn't it just? And also, I think if there's one person in this entire organisation we can forgive for being late, it is the man out there.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? He's the-
100%.
Let's
Tell
not-
that to Leash.
We won't blow his ego up too much, but
No.
the boy is a grafter.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think it's acceptable.
He work hard.
Thank you so much.
But I was worried when Leash called you. I was worried that you were going to go, "Whoa, what,
Yeah, I know.
what time is it, bro?" Like,
I'm a massive catastrophizer, so I was like, something's wrong, something's happened
no,
to him.
I thought so. I was like, Abdel's not here.
scared.
Well,
Because I texted you. I was like, I'm going to
did
be a
you?
couple minutes late on Teams. I don't know if that's
oh,
your
sorry. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I should log into that.
Yeah,
thing.
you're good.
It's all right.
All right. Yeah, it won't happen again next week, hopefully. Let's jump right into it.
Yes.
The first news article is about AA, so Alcoholics Anonymous. They created a new, quote-unquote, anonymous ad campaign.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh wow!
Not the yawn.
Not the yawn in the mic. Goodness me.
That was funny. So, Alcoholics Anonymous is launching its first UK-wide ad campaign. The campaign features blurred images with only two A's visible, symbolizing clarity through sobriety, showing how constraints can fuel creativity.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's your guys' thoughts on AA in general?
Well, I mean, quite often. Soph, do you want to give anything to
You
me?
go,
Okay,
you
cool,
already.
yeah. All I say is, firstly, there is a big distinction. I think it's the same in Aotearoa, where AA is actually also the car people who fix the cars.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Very
yeah.
confusing.
But like it really is. Like quite often, like AA here to help,
Yeah.
£38 a month, and I'm like, well, what's that? Are you fixing my alcoholism
Yeah.
or my car?
Or why don't we just combine the two and
Oh, now we're
double
talking.
service?
Boom. I think it's a good thing. I think, you know what's actually crazy? I saw just last night, I actually saw something. I mean, don't want to bring the tone down, but we're not exactly talking about the most chirpy thing ever. But I saw a video on TikTok. There's an actor called Stephen Graham. He's an English actor. He's been in a few bits. He's been in a lot of things. He's outstanding. And there's a little campaign, and he actually, I think it's from a TV show, and it shows a relapse into
Okay.
alcoholism.
Wow.
And I'm lucky enough to have never struggled with that sort of thing. Obviously, I know plenty of people who have, as I'm sure we all do.
Yeah.
But goodness me, the way it showed, because quite often you hear about a relapse, you hear about these people who have these addictions, and it's
Yeah.
such a peculiar thing. But this guy, oh my gosh, he basically had this sort of pint, and he's like nursing it, and it's his first sip of it for like say 15 years, and he sort
Yeah.
of takes a sip, and he's like, sort of taken aback,
Oh my
and then
God.
goes halfway down, and it sort of like burps. He's like, oh, and he's like, oh, Barm, can you fill that up for me? And he's just the way he navigates it, and it shows throughout the night,
Yeah.
and it's very, very strange. So I guess the point I'm making is, it's a very, very intense thing to advertise for anything which is addiction related,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that any campaign someone tries can be a good thing, but there's certain ways of doing it.
Yeah, well, their whole thing is like attraction, not promotion. So they obviously have heaps of constraints around what they can advertise, where they can advertise it. Like they can't do social media campaigns because people might accidentally out themselves or other people, and like it's all about the anonymity of it. So like it's really important that they, like all of this whole campaign, they had no branding, no logos, no website, no call, nothing. But the AA is enough for people to recognize it. And it's kind of like that symbolism of, we're there when you need us, but not in the foreground and it's not obvious. So it's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely power in anonymity for so many things. Like you said, obviously people have to, right? Because of their job, because, this phrase functioning alcoholic, it's very much a thing, right? There are some people, and again, even harder things that people, like, as I say, function on and they're fully addicted to these sort of things. But there are some people who obviously it can't be hidden, but goodness me, it's such a sensitive topic. But the fact that they manage to advertise, but keeping things so, dare I say, plain.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things where sometimes less is more.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And sometimes if you, it's like almost like guerrilla marketing, right? Like if you actually strip things back completely, that can generate more buzz and more attention. But what a complex scenario.
I know. Yeah. So that's like, it's their first campaign and it's UK wide.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like a pretty big deal.
Well, good on them.
Yeah. I mean, they're such an incredible organization. I've never known anyone to go through AA, but I have had friends go through NA, and like it's the same sort of, two sides of the same coin. And I think it's so incredible and it really helps people a lot. And the whole premise of just like, we're here for you and no one needs to know, like, this is really cool,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Hello. What's up next?
I like it. When I saw it first, I didn't know it was AA. I had to type in Alcohol Anonymous, raise the eyebrow ad campaign. And just going off what Sophie said, I like the fact that it's like if you know sort of thing. Like if I was like a regular person who probably just like doesn't indulge in alcohol often, and it says alcoholics in the answer, I'll be like, sure, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But my mind wouldn't go to AA. But I feel like if you've been struggling with that, your mind would. So it's like a really, really, really good execution. I feel like they nailed like the target audience is like
totally.
It's like on the head.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of thing. So
because also the way of measuring the success, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because it's literally not for profit. It's a social enterprise, right?
Yeah.
It's a social enterprise. Forgive me, I don't know, particularly in the UK, how much it's government funded, if it's fully private donors or however it works. But essentially, it's one of those ones where the end goal is essentially a social good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
course.
It's a tool for reducing harm.
Yeah, net
across
positive.
society. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
for sure.
So,
that was AA. Moving on to
Ding.
Michelin.
what? Sorry,
From Michelin.
Michelin.
Oh, Michelin.
So,
yeah,
Michelin.
sort of.
Sorry.
Wait, question. Wait, I got a question.
Well, they are French.
No, Michelin,
Michelin.
for sure.
When you think of said Michelin, does your brain go tires or stars?
For me, honestly, this is so bad. I don't know if this just shows my weird nature, but I think now that I love Altero, in case anyone didn't know, but I think the longer that I've been in this country, I now think tires more because we don't have Michelin stars here, right?
No.
We have like Bib Gourmand or whatever, or Menu or whatever. But like back home, I love food. I love going to nice restaurants.
Yeah.
I would honestly, I know this sounds so pathetic, but like for me, rather than I've got terrible taste in fashion, so like rather than dropping like £200 on a pair of trainers or whatever, I literally would save up to go to like an absolutely top draw restaurant, right?
Totally.
Top draw.
Yeah.
I love it. And
Me
like
too.
Amsterdam, France, all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And then, but here, outstanding restaurants in this country, but we don't have the Michelin rating system.
No, I mean, is that because we just don't have the chefs that have acquired the stars, or it doesn't actually extend to New Zealand?
Doesn't extend to New Zealand.
That's so stupid.
I think the reason is, I could be wrong on this, but essentially, obviously, Michelin started, they essentially had like a guide, right, to go with, like their road trip, like tire sort of vibe.
It started as like how to like tune your automobile when people didn't really have awareness of that, and then it turned into
and
as
it
you
just
said,
snowballed.
I know,
right?
how crazy.
But it's so mad because you sort of think to yourself, tires and restaurants, what's the link? But the link is, of course, the journey to there.
Yes, exactly.
And I could be wrong, so if you probably know more about this than me, but I believe the stars actually correspond to a meaning. So, for example, 1 star is like definitely stop if it's on your way.
Okay.
But 2 stars is like it's worth its own journey.
Okay.
And the very, very rare, which the likes of Switzerland and New York have quite a few, but the 3 Michelin stars is like set aside an entire day in your road trip for this restaurant. So they all have distinct meanings, right? It's absolutely amazing.
I had no idea about that. That's awesome.
Word for word, it goes 1 star rating means it's a very good restaurant. 2 stars signifies an excellent cooking that is worth a detour. And
Yeah.
3-star restaurant is the one that offers exceptional cuisine that is worth a special journey.
There we
Yeah,
go. There we
okay.
go.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
is so cool.
So cool. I've been lucky enough just the once to dine at a 2-star
Oh,
in
wow.
London. It's called Marcus. It's Marcus Waring's restaurant. For anyone who's watched MasterChef, the professionals out there, the guy with the long grey head,
yes.
slick back hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't that great?
Sorry, Marcus.
Honestly, man, I saved up for a long time for this, and like, I mean, don't get me,
damn.
sorry. Let me clarify.
Underwhelming.
Oh yeah. Let me
okay.
clarify. It was stunning. Of course, it was stunning. But I've paid less for better food. I think.
Yeah.
But funnily enough, out of the 10 courses, I distinctly remember it was 2017. I went out of the something like 8 or 9 courses. About 6 of the wines were from New Zealand. Genuinely, like,
Love that.
this country, and that's
Represent.
seriously why that happened. I was like, oh, New Zealand must be onto something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've only ever been to a 1 Michelin star, and it was actually in Hong Kong, and it was this little hole in the wall, like what's it called, like dumplings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was completely unassuming, but absolutely incredible. And like I read about it online, and I was like, I have to go find this place, which is an impossible task if you don't speak the language in Hong Kong and you're trying to find this tiny little one restaurant that you cannot pronounce. But I made it there after like an entire day of trying to find it, and it was so good. Yeah.
See, that's what I love about the guide, is that actually, yes, of course, we have the 2-star, the 3, like these incredibly fancy restaurants, but they award this 1-star too, like you say, hole in the wall, food truck or whatever.
Totally.
And I think it's a real game changer. But you know what's interesting is there's actually a restaurant in Yorkshire in the UK that gave back their star because the pressure to retain the star is so intense. And obviously, you know, as soon as it's on the
Sorry, had to be said. Oh no, I can't keep this up. Shut up. Do your job.
This is why we want Soph on this show. This is why
Because I'm
she's
an
here.
asshole.
But I think it's one of those ones where, like, you know, if as soon as it's on the guide, everything changes, right?
Yeah, that's
Suddenly
true.
people are coming from all far-flung places, and obviously the person who attends the Michelin reviewer or whatever you call them, they're obviously anonymous, right?
Yeah, you
so
have
you've
no
got to
idea.
treat, so for that, and it's reviewed every 12 months, I believe. So for that entire year, you've got to treat every customer like
the
it's the
anxiety
reviewer.
would be
Yeah.
insane.
Oh my God.
Also, I think especially for like chefs who are kind of like doing it for the passion and the love, and it's like a bit rustic and it's a bit fun, and then all of a sudden you've got this pressure of like upkeeping this like more fine dining feel. Like it
Exactly.
would change, like you said, change everything.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
I mean, not just to throw myself in there as an example, not like me to make it all about me, but you know, there's a restaurant in Auckland, Blue Rose Cafe, little pie place, right? And I made a video that was luckily my most successful video ever, and I went back a couple of weeks later, and the guy was like, "Oh, you're back," and he was not happy. And another mate of mine who's got way bigger following than I have. Literally, he's got like 1 million followers on Instagram. Shout out, Eaton Watard, great guy. And he went there and we started filming, and the guy was like, "No filming." Honestly, so essentially,
He's like, you give me too much business.
literally, it was a hangi pie that I featured, and just to regroup to your point, Soph, is that actually sometimes I think people are happy with enjoying their business. It's like a family-run thing. They like things ticking along. That actually, when someone comes along, some idiot reviewer or a Michelin star guy, suddenly everything changes. There's pressure.
Yeah.
There's too much attention on them. So yeah, I reason with these people for sure.
Yeah, I think it's with food as well. Like it's such a passion, sort of like a creative thing. If if that's what you're into it for. So yeah.
Yeah, because it is an outlet, isn't it? It's
Totally.
art. It's
Yeah.
absolutely art. And I think suddenly, and the whole beauty of art is that it's from yourself, right?
Yeah.
And without being overly philosophical, it's an outlet for who you are.
100%.
So suddenly you're no longer doing it for you.
No.
You're doing it for the minds and the eyes of these reviewers, and it then warps your original vision.
Totally.
Solved it. Solved it. Love it, so.
The questions of the world have been answered today.
I think one thing that's crazy is that how far apart the two things are, the Michelin stars and the Michelin tires. Like when I think Michelin stars, the tires do not even cross my mind. I'm saying the same word, but
Right?
my brain just does not compute that. The big fucking marshmallow man.
Yeah,
star
Michelin
guy.
man, yeah.
Like what
It's
the
not-
fuck does this guy have to do with food?
Why
you
is he
know?
Gordon Ramsay's restaurant kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Just picturing him sitting there at the table. Like
I think another thing that's interesting is that how all these things start, like these like awards kind of things, because like you could start, but like what gives them the significance? Because I'm sure a ton of other people try to do this thing.
yeah, true.
Maybe it's just their timing is that because like they came up like in the early 1900s, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
like 1930s, I think, is when the like first guides for the restaurants began.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
Really?
yeah.
No
Wait,
way.
correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
I'm
that
pretty
makes
sure I'm
sense. That
right.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think maybe it was like they're so well established, and Michelin hit was already so well established as a brand and trusted in terms of their tires.
Yeah.
That they had that credibility.
Yeah.
And people trusted them from the start.
Yeah. Wow.
Which just goes to show, like, having that brand positioning to be those trusted, credible guys.
Yeah.
Can take you so far in all other avenues too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I remember the first time that I saw bear with me on this one, weird example. But the first time the first time that I saw a Dyson hand dryer, right?
Yeah.
Because Dysons are Hoovers, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, hang on a minute. It goes the other way. Well, hang on, what's going on here? But then I was like,
I don't trust you.
but then I thought that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think once you nail some sort of whatever your avenue is, like you
Mm-hmm.
say, you get that credibility, whether it's engineering, whether it's like guide or anything.
Yeah.
Suddenly you bring something else out and people are like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I trust
Hey,
this.
yeah, I know
trust
this guy.
for sure.
I'm
Yeah,
listening.
Yeah. It's like, but it's also like, Supreme. Remember the branding
Yes.
for Supreme?
Yeah.
And like, I went to a shop in Melbourne probably about 5 years ago, and there's a Supreme fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
what's
They've
what's
got
that
like
about?
they sold a Supreme brick, and it's
Yeah, they
literally
did,
just
yes,
brick.
Yes.
But like people, obviously, like hype beast lovers are like building fucking houses with
Yeah,
like their
just
these like
Supreme
singular
bricks.
bricks in them, which is crazy. But yeah, same sort of thing, right?
Yeah, once you've nailed the brand, like exactly
Yeah.
as you say, it's brand positioning. Once you nail one area, suddenly you can venture out.
Yeah, into other markets.
Yeah, wow.
I think it's such a smart idea. Whoever came up with it initially, like what, almost like just under 100 years ago now, is that like, I mean, it looks simple now, but looking back, it's like, who would have thought like this tire company would go like, oh, you know what, what would be nice for you on your trip? What if you stopped at these restaurants on the way, kind of thing?
Mm.
It's just,
And then
I
it
need to
snowballs
breathe.
from there. And that's the thing, oftentimes these things take care of themselves, right? Like realistically, it can actually start off and like develop into a bit of a joke. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, get the old Michelin guide.
Yeah.
And then like literally 100 years later, we're like, oh my God, I've got another star. I'm freaking out. Like it's literally a
Sweating.
take it back, take it back, take it
I
back.
don't want, I can't do it.
Traveling all the way through fucking Hong Kong with no fucking. Oh my god, I shouldn't be swearing. Sorry, guys.
You're good, you're good.
Don't bring me on the podcast if you want it to be clean. I'm sorry. This is just not going to happen.
No, you're good, you're good. So yeah, that was the Michelin stars. We have 2 minutes, guys. So let's talk, man. Sophie,
Okay.
how you been?
How have I been?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's so nice of you to
What-
ask.
What are we doing on the weekend?
On the weekends,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like a bit boring these days. I just like to
Boring's good these days. I
Boring is
feel,
good.
though.
I'm
Boring's
old.
So good.
Peaceful.
I've got sore joints. I'm getting old. It's cold. I don't want to do shit. I just want to do my little paintings and my drawings and
Sounds like a pretty good weekend. So
yeah, it's not bad.
You're making this out to be that sounds lovely. What the hell?
I've got like all the birds in my garden flying around me. No, I'm joking.
It's like
Just
something out of like a
Snow
C.S.
White.
Lewis novel or something. Yeah. I control nature.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Wow.
What
Well,
about you?
It's a very exciting time, just quickly, so because
No, go ahead.
in 32 minutes, we are going to have the results of the UK election, which is
Yes.
really
Oh
exciting
shit,
time.
that
So
is crazy.
first time the government in my adult life will be changing because
Oh my
they've been
God.
15 years or 14 years. They've been
Wait, so it's definitely changing?
I mean,
Yeah, well, let's get
99.999% sure. Yeah.
him out of there.
Yeah. Please. Yeah. Goodness. Yeah.
Uh,
So exciting times, but yeah, I'm flying over to Sydney Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look forward to some nice overpriced brunch, which
Nice.
would be great.
Fun.
Lovely.
We
went-
love that.
Went to this place last weekend, avocado toast, right?
Yeah.
32
yeah, that's
Aussie
Sydney.
dollars.
That's
Oh my
Sydney.
goodness gracious me! And you know, and she was like, "Do you want a poached egg?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." $4 more. $4 more.
$4 more.
$4 for a
for a
poached egg.
singular egg. Fuck you.
Honestly, livid. A bit of coriander on there, though. Don't worry about that. Cheers. Madness. I was fuming.
Hold the coriander.
Seriously.
I'm not paying an extra $2 for that.
Oh man.
Well, on that note, guys, thank you so much for showing up. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you.
Thank
And
you.
thanks to Soph. Great to have you
Yeah.
here, Soph. It was
Yeah,
really
no, this is
fun.
fun.
It was an awesome chat.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Do it
nice.
again.
Yeah.
Same time next week. All right.
Boom.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye. Have a nice
Bye.
weekend. Bye.